Good morning. I'm Garvin Warner. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking with Elizabeth at the coffee hour, and I was sort of lamenting the fact that I didn't think I was really contributing a lot as a member of the stewardship committee. Everybody else seemed to know how to do stuff, could get stuff done, organizational, web stuff, and I didn't know how to do that stuff. I had forgotten that Elizabeth was in charge or volunteered for finding people to give testimonials, so I fell into that trap. But she said, why don't you give a testimonial about why you give to the church? And I said something like, I give to the church because I can. Just because. She looked at me and said, okay, that's great. Why here? So that got me to thinking. And here I am. So as many do, I started coming to the church because of the RE program. Dan was 5, and Chloe was 3 when we started coming in 98. We'd moved from Syracuse, New York to Windham. Moving from central New York to the greater Boston area was something of a sticker shock for us. And when I got that first pledge packet, and there was the guidelines for giving, I said, holy mackerel, how am I going to do that? That year I gave as much as I could, much as I felt I could. And then over time, I was able to get to those giving guidelines, and that made me feel really good. As I said, I started coming to the church because of the RE program for the kids, and I'm incredibly grateful for the contribution that the RE program made to helping my kids become independent young adults who mostly make good choices. Sunday school, the OWL program, ropes, youth group, all contributed to the spiritual and growth of Dan and Chloe. I remember when Chloe was in 2nd grade, she came up to me at coffee hour with some drawings that she'd done in Sunday school. It was within a couple weeks of 9/11. And she had drawn a picture of the church, and underneath the church she had written with an arrow to the church, "I feel safe here." Dan's now 22, Chloe's 20, and they're away at college. And they come home less and less, and they stay for shorter and shorter periods of time. And I keep coming and supporting this church. For me, in the early years, when I was teaching, when I wasn't teaching in RE, because I did a lot of teaching in RE in those days, but I loved being able to come into the worship service. I was working all the time those days. Classic workaholic. Work was everything, right? So that 1 hour on Sunday, that was precious to me. A time, perhaps in a selfish way, that was for me. A time to shut off that internal dialogue related to the outside world, to be inspired, and sometimes to be challenged to ask questions of myself and my own beliefs. To look inward. But always within a community that accepts the inherent worth and dignity of everyone, as these rainbow banners here in the sanctuary remind us, and the rainbow flag and our sign outside attest to the outside world. A welcoming place where everyone is welcome, safe, and loved. I could run down a big list of all the other things that I love about this church, the music. I love the fact that we do Simple Gifts Coffee House, the Social Justice Committee and the Outreach Collections, community dinners, support for Crop Walk. But when it comes right down to it, I support this church because supporting this church, this community, this fellowship, this congregation, and this faith has a much bigger effect than I could ever have by myself in any other way in making this community and the larger world a better place to live, to raise kids, and to grow old in. Thanks.